Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are tackling one of the most nerve-wracking parts of the UPSC exam, the essay paper. We're going to bust all the biggest myths that surround it. So if you're feeling even a little bit anxious about it, you are in exactly the right place. Our goal today? To turn that stress into a clear, confident strategy. Let's dive right in.
So you gotta wonder, right? Why is this one paper so feared by so many incredibly smart people? I mean, it carries a ton of weight, but it's also surrounded by a fog of confusing, often contradictory advice. If you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by it, trust me, you are not alone. The stakes are really high, and the path forward can seem pretty unclear.
But here's the thing, and this is the really good news. The problem for most aspirants isn't a lack of knowledge. You know your stuff. You've been studying for ages. The real issue, the thing that holds people back, is a flawed understanding of what the examiners are actually looking for. And you know what that means? It means the solution is totally within your grasp.
So, how do we fix this flawed understanding? Well, it's simple. We go straight to the source. The key to cracking the essay code isn't some well-kept secret. It's been hiding in plain sight this whole time, right in the official UPSC syllabus.
This, right here, this single paragraph is the master key to the whole thing. Just read it again. Does it say anything about being a literary genius? About using super complex vocabulary? Nope. It talks about keeping to the subject, arranging ideas in order, and writing concisely. It's all about clarity, order, and precision. This tells us almost everything we need to know.
So let's just break that down into a simple checklist. What does UPSC really care about? They're looking at your clarity of thought, your relevance to the topic, if you have an orderly structure, if your arguments are coherent, and the precision of your expression. That's it. This is your new North Star. Forget all the noise you've heard. This is the core of it. Okay, so keeping that checklist in our minds, let's start busting some myths. And we're gonna start with a big one, the one that trips up so many people, what I call the language trap. This is all about the words you use and the style you write in.
Okay, myth number one. You need to sound like Shakespeare and use a bunch of big, fancy words. The reality? Remember that phrase from the syllabus? Effective and exact expression. Simple, clear language that's grammatically correct is way more effective at getting your point across. Clarity beats complexity every single time.
And this one is kind of related. The myth that dropping in a lot of academic jargon or quoting complex theories will make you sound smarter. Here's the deal. If that jargon just confuses your point, it's actually hurting you. A theory is only powerful if you can explain it in simple terms and show exactly why it matters for your argument.
Moving on, myth number two is all about the rigid formula. This is this really dangerous idea that there's some kind of magic template, a fill-in-the-blank structure that you can just apply to any topic and get a great score.
You've probably seen them online, right? These guaranteed high-score templates. But just think about it. UPSC topics are all over the place. Some are philosophical, some are social, some are economic. A one-size-fits-all intro is going to feel totally forced and generic. The truth is, the best structure is one that grows logically from the topic itself. You have to be flexible.
Oh, this is a classic. More words equals more marks, right? Wrong. So wrong. The syllabus is crystal clear. They want you to write concisely. There's no reward for just filling up the page. A long, rambling essay is way weaker than a tight, concise, and focused one that actually respects the word limit. It's always quality over quantity.
You're in the exam hall. The clock is ticking. It feels like you should just start writing as fast as you can. But that is a huge trap. The reality is that spending just 10 minutes brainstorming and outlining your essay is probably the most valuable time you'll spend. It saves you from getting lost halfway through and makes sure your final essay is logical and orderly.
All right, we've tackled language and we've tackled structure. Now it's time for our third and final myth category, something I like to call the content conundrum. This is all about the actual substance of your essay, your arguments, your evidence, the whole shebang.
So because some of the essay topics feel a bit abstract, it's easy to think your arguments can be all theory too, but that's a mistake. A really strong essay grounds its ideas in the real world. You have to back up your abstract points with concrete evidence. Things like real-world examples, case studies, specific government policies, or even data. That's what shows you can connect theory to practice. Okay, this next one is super interesting because it feels a little backwards at first. The myth is that to make a strong point, you should just ignore the other side of the argument. But actually, the opposite is true. Acknowledging a counter-argument and then explaining why your point is still stronger shows real analytical maturity. It proves you've thought about the topic from all angles, and that's incredibly impressive.
And now for the dreaded philosophical topics. You know, the ones a lot of people see on the paper and immediately skip, thinking they're just way too risky. But listen, these essays aren't a test of whether you're a philosophy professor. They're a test of clear thinking and your ability to link an abstract idea to the real world. If you can do that in a systematic way, they can be absolute gold mines for high scores.
Okay, so we have officially torn down the myths. We know what not to do. So now for the fun part. Let's build something positive to replace them. Let's put together a clear, actionable blueprint for what you should be doing based on all this reality we've uncovered.
And here it is, your new 5-step strategy. See how each step is a direct answer to the myths we just busted? You plan first, you structure your ideas logically, you write with simple, powerful clarity, you argue with real evidence, and you wrap it all up with a conclusion that offers a forward-looking vision. This, right here, is your path.
And as you're practicing this strategy, I want you to burn this next thought into your brain. Nobody is born a great essay writer. It is not some magical, inborn talent. It is a skill, and just like any other skill, it can be learned, it can be practiced, and you can absolutely get better at it.
So, if you only take away one single thing from our time together today, please let it be this. The UPSC essay is not, and has never been, a test of your literary genius. It is and always will be a test of clear thinking.
And once you have that clarity, the fear really starts to fade away. It gets replaced by a sense of purpose. The path is so much clearer now. So I'm just going to leave you with this one question to think about. Now that all the myths are out of the way, what will you write? Thanks for tuning in,